Hey everyone, Coffee Traveler here with 5 more articles. Welcome to Rise and Grind. It is a beautiful day. The first one we have is, I thought this was very good. This is from Washington, University of Washington here in Washington State. Let me drop this into Twitch chat here. Save that for myself for later. Breathing highway air increases blood pressure. UW research finds. Is it breathing the air or is it actually just driving? I think everyone's blood pressure goes up, but if it goes up from breathing the air, that's even worse because it makes driving even worse. For more than a century, American cities have been sliced and diced by highway traffic roadways. Interstate highways and wide arterials are now a defining feature of most metropolitan areas. Their constant flow of cars spewing pollution into nearby neighborhoods. Yes, very, very bad. The other problem is, like, if you live close to like the roadway, it's like pretty bad, but like you breathe in the large particles, and the further away, up to like a mile away from like even a highway, you breathe in the tiny particles that float further away, and that's also like really bad for you. So this is why like air pollution is some cost that we don't know what we're paying for, right? And in like 50 years we'll be like, man, why do we ever drive cars? Why do we ever like combustibles? Good evening, Alex. How are you? We're reading about air pollution and how it is fucking all of us and we don't realize it. Researchers have only begun to understand the health risks posed by all that pollution. Long-term exposure to traffic-related air pollution, a complex mixture of exhaust from tailpipes, brakes, tire wear and tear, road dust, has been linked to increased rates of cardiovascular disease, asthma, lung cancer, and death. Oh, and I'm not going to make it out, so like don't worry about that last one. But yeah, everything that cars do is just so bad. Like, it's very good to get us from place to place, but do we need to be from place to place, or do we like, are we good? Also, if all roadways could be replaced with trains, probably pretty good for all of us. At least high-speed trains. Holy shit. Hooray, we're all fucked. Yeah, exactly. My last article is about how golden retrievers, there's a golden retriever article in here, so. And also to like, to none of our, like we didn't like get to impose our will upon the world, right? Like we landed in a car-centric society, and it's just like, ugh. At least we don't have like lead in the gas anymore, I guess, right? Anyways, new research from University of Washington suggests those health risks are also seen in people traveling busy roads. Yeah, no shit, you're in it. You're directly in it. A study published found that unfiltered air from rush hour traffic significantly increased passengers' blood pressure both while in the car and up to 24 hours later. Oh, that's terrible. 24 hours after you like drive, it's like body has a complex set of systems to try to keep blood pressure to your brain the same all the time. Very complex, tightly regulated system, and it appears that somewhere in one of those mechanisms, traffic-related air pollution interferes with blood pressure. No wonder people like lose their mind. I'm thinking of Pontius Pilates in chat here. That he drives a lot. Like, oh, it's not good. Earlier experiment by Kaufman's lab found that exposure to diesel exhaust fumes increased blood pressure in a controlled environment. The roadway traffic was designed to test that finding in a real-world setting by isolating the effects of traffic-related air pollution. Researchers drove healthy participants between ages 22 and 45 through rush hour Seattle traffic while monitoring their blood pressure. On 2 of the drives, unfiltered road air was allowed to enter the car, mirroring how many of us drive. On the 3rd, the car was equipped with a high-quality HEPA filter that blocked 86% of the particulate pollution. Participants did not know whether they were on a clean air drive or a roadway air drive. Yeah. Breathing unfiltered air resulted in a net blood pressure increase of more than 4.5 milligrams of mercury when compared to drives with filtered. That seems like a lot. I don't know the whole metrics here, but that seems like a lot. The increase occurred rapidly, peaking about an hour into the drive and holding steady for at least 24 hours. Researchers did not test past the 24-hour mark. I'm surprised they didn't do a 24-48, what is that, like 96? Hyperventilating when riding in motorized vehicles might be caused by something else, though. Yeah, it might be caused that like they're terrifying death machines. At least that's how I like to describe cars. They're terrifying. There's so much potential energy in cars while you're driving around. The size of an increase is comparable to the effect of a high sodium diet. So like it's basically like you just went and ate a lot of like salt. Oh, not scared? Yeah. But it is like impacting you. Like if we roll down the windows or whatever and are like, oh, I'm just out to drive, blah, blah, blah. There's like a huge impact. I just tend to breathe way more rapidly. Yeah. You have to get like deeper breaths. I have asthma, like, and it's usually induced by exercise, like exercise induced asthma. Like I just can't breathe enough, right? I'll leave the rest of the article, but what an incredible find, and will remind me to like recirculate my air whenever I'm like driving my car, because like just recirculate the air. Like if you leave your neighborhood, just turn on the air recirculator. Oof, man. There's article number 1. Article number 2. Study shows generational decline in Australia's mental health. We love talking about mental health here, and I wanted to know what it is about this. And its title, with the title, it then goes on to say it's not just the kids. The mental health of Australians have been declining since around 2010, and this is seen in earlier generations, not just a youths of Gen Z, according to a new study led by the University of Sydney. We love university studies. It's widely agreed that young people's mental health has declined in developed countries in recent years. However, it has been debated whether this is an effect just seen in post-millennium cohort, as well as whether it is a temporary shift that recovers with age or a more permanent and worrying trend. A new study published today in the journal sought to answer this question by tracking the mental health of a dedicated cohort of Australians for 20 years, from 2001 to 2020. That's a good amount of time. Drawing on data from the Hilda survey, a national representative survey of 9,000 households, the researchers addressed how a birth cohort's mental health changed as they aged and compared to mental health of each cohort at the same age. Sweet. They found that people born in the 90s have poorer mental health for their age than previous generations and do not show the improvements in mental health as they age. Uh-oh. Maybe because they don't see the improvements in financial stability as they age. They don't see improvements in society as they age. They get to just see the decline of society as they age. Importantly, the researchers found the decline in mental health from around 2010 also impacted those born in the 1980s and to a lesser extent, the 1970s. Yeah. Thank you for all of this world that we've like been in. Drogo goes on to say more, but it's interesting to see that like what they saw in the past is that you could have some like mental decline through puberty and up to probably age 25 or so, and then it gets better. Doctors told me I'd grow out of my issues. Yeah, if you had anything to look forward to, Jindred, like the world is not worth looking forward to. Like, all the boomers are having it better than their parents, and they're having it better than their kids, right? They're just scraping like the last remnants of everything. It's absolutely abhorrent, right? Like, I'm not an expert, I'm just armchairing it here, but like if people had things to look forward to, like anything, everything's like far too expensive. Like, oh, hey, I guess I'll go like rent this place out and blah, 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 and just live here and exist, right? Like everything's far too expensive. I've gotten incredibly lucky to be where I am today, and it's mostly luck and people taking a chance on me. I did not build up anything on my own, right? Even this channel, this small like YouTube channel and Twitch channel is built up by like 10 plus people, and everybody who watches, like anybody who watches, you're part of building this up. So I did not build this on my own. It's fucking everybody. Anyways, there's more to this article. You can read the rest of it. I've linked it in the YouTube below. And in Twitch chat. Yeah, hey, let me just go buy groceries. And they're like, oh, if you're spending more than $100 a month on groceries, or like $300 a month on groceries, you're spending too much. It's like, ha 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 ha, good one. I'm 6'5". I have to eat 2,500 calories a day to exist. Like, good one. You're now a brick. Yeah, exactly. Alex, come live in my sweet purple basement. I showed Jindred. Jindred, would you live in that purple basement? Not done yet, but, you know. People build communities with me? Yes, that's correct. Next article, mentally passive sedentary activities linked to 43% higher depression risk. This is like really interesting to me because I do not like mentally passive activities, right? I like to play games and other things. This is what they say, Jindred, in like, to go back to my comment, Jindred says, wait, what the fuck can spend less than $300 a month on groceries? Like, not me. I'm maybe 100, like 100 a week if I'm like really scraping, right? But like, yeah, it's just not good. Like, let's say I spend a penny a calorie. That's $24 a day, or $25 a day, right? So every 5 days, every 4 days, that's $100. There are 30 days in the month, so like, it's like pretty ridiculous. Calories are like getting awfully expensive. So what do I do? Like, manage this? I get cheap things like bagel and cream cheese, like cheesy chips with some salsa on them. Like, you have to get cheaper calories, and then you have like one nice meal, peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You know what I'm saying? Some eggs and hash browns. $50 on food a week. Personally, it might be European privilege. Yeah, these comments are too American for your. I might just too. It's the meme, right? Am I just too European for these comments? And just capitalism has squeezed like so hard on like, oh look, we can make more money. Look, the market supports it. Look, the market supports it. It's like, if the market supports it, like, it doesn't mean that it's good for everybody, right? Yeah. Anyways, back to the article. Let's start the article over again. Mentally passive sedentary activities linked to 43% higher depression risk. Some sitting activities may be more harmful than others. A new study suggests that mentally passive sedentary behaviors such as watching TV may increase the risk of developing depression, while mentally active sedentary behaviors such as sitting at work does not have the same effect. I do not like this phrasing like right off the bat. They're like pro work. Like what is this? Like, ooh boy, that is. Can't you say something like video games, crossword? Like, can't you say something else? Like, oh, capitalism apologist being out here like while sitting at work. Cringe. Published in the Journal of Affective Disorders, the research also provides new insights on how waist size and inflammation may partly explain the link between mentally passive sedentary behaviors and depression. Yeah, it is like well known that like being overweight bad, as it gives you like inflammation and other things, and your body can't regulate itself because hormone regulation gets like really bad when you get overweight. I know I'm working on it. I'm like 230 right now, 6'5". I'm trying to get down to 200. We working on it. Can't hear they take on video games. Yeah, like, we love to play very hard video games and think like a lot on video games, like, right? Holy shit, my brain just like cranks on it, right? So sedentary behaviors refers to the time spent awake and sitting, reclining or lying with low energy expenditures. Some activities include watching movies, reading, or driving. Researchers have observed that less mentally demanding activities during sedentary behavior is linked to higher risk of depression. Depends on what you're reading. We're at the boss fight. Thanks, Slay the Spire. Perfect timing. The boss fight here. We're fighting capitalism. If the music's a little loud, let me know. I like to have put on some music. We put on some Slay the Spire today. It's very good. Gut health directly linked to mental health. It goes both ways. That's exactly right. It's all combined. Like the three things I say that like how my day is going to be. Did I get the right set of calories? Did I get enough sleep? And right set of calories and enough water. Gotta drink enough water. Holy shit. Just water. Like from the toilet. Did you like do something mentally stimulating like for the day? Did you like use your brain? And did you what was it? Get enough sleep, right? Enough sleep. Enough sleep is different for everybody. I think as much when playing strategy or puzzle games as I do in class. Exactly. And one of the things they found as well too is that like when somebody's like going through puberty and they're going through like high school or whatever, they're burning so many calories from their body growing and their brain growing. Like, it's crazy to me that top tier chess players burn just as many calories as soccer players do. Think about that. the brain grinding on problems and lighting up and spending so many calories. Like, our brain is so good, right? It's so powerful. They've done studies where the top tier chess players, during their peak in games and things like this, they're burning as many calories as soccer players, like in physicality. So you can be like, your brain can be incredibly tired, but your body might not be tired. So like, that's the difference here, right? In my idea. Anyways, where were we? However, the study led by Andre from the University of Sao Paulo in Brazil, yes, another university, hell yeah, aimed to delve further into potential mechanisms or mediators that explain how sedentary behavior and depression are associated. In particular, reduced sedentary behavior levels have been associated with lower inflammation, blood sugar levels, and body fat. Werner and colleagues hence sought to examine these biological mediators in relation to sedentary behaviors and depression. These included measurements of C-reactive protein, I don't know what that is, glycated hemoglobin levels, indicative of sugar levels in your blood, and also weight circumference. I am pear-shaped, so the circumference of a pear. Well, that's why I've never been overweight. I think a lot about stuff. I mean, you should look up like how much your brain actually like does a lot. So like, when people go from being in high school using their brain a lot and using their body a lot into college of just using their brain a lot and no more puberty as well too, and they eat the same amount of calories, it's like, yeah, why did I gain the freshman 15 going into college? You know why? Because you stopped, like, puberty stopped. Like, always had a lot during an immense appetite, yet never been overweight. Everybody's body is different. People don't have fast or slow metabolisms. Fast or slow metabolisms only account for about 100 calories each way. And if you've been diagnosed with like thyroid problems or other things, it's only worth like 150 calories a day, right? So like, you probably just don't have, one of the things, Alex, is that you don't have in your foods that you probably aren't realizing is that the foods you reach for are like low on the glycemic index, meaning that it takes your body longer to churn through them, or they have a high fiber content. Due to being in Europe, you also don't have corn syrup and everything, so your bread isn't considered cake. So like, I think you just have a lot less sugar in all of the food you eat and a lower glycemic index. Anyways, back to the article. Data was collected from 1958 National Child Development Study, a study in the United Kingdom of individuals born in the specific week of 1958. In a specific week of 1958. Interesting. 4,600 participants were analyzed. Half of them were women. Participants reported time spent in TV viewing and sitting during work and driving at age 44. Waist circumference, C-reactive protein, glycogen, hemoglobin were often measured at age 44. Depression diagnosis was self-reported at age 44, 46, 50, and 55. Following data analyzes that researchers discovered that mentally passive sedentary behavior was associated with a 43% higher risk of depression, while mentally active sedentary behavior was not associated with the incident depression. Do things that use your brain. Love that. There's more to this article. And y'all can like read more, but I think it's really, really interesting to say, like, when people tell you that your mentally active like video game is bad for you, no, it's not. Like, you're being engaged. Now, how long you should do it for, yeah, it differs. You should get some exercise, some other things. Not sure I agree with like high-low metabolism things you said. My dad's been a beanpole his whole life and also just getting kicked out. While getting kicked out of all-you-can-eat places for eating too much. Sawdog, hello. Bimka, hello. I am talking in a large macro level scale. Specific people can break this, of course, right? I'm talking in like generalizations. But of course, if you point to one exact person, of course it breaks the like macro. So like, I understand that but one person doesn't. We can look this up. I will find articles, right? Yeah. Esports or sports gonna consume all the energy. Yeah, exactly. So yes, micro, of course there'll be people that are like, 3 or 4 standard deviations off the mean, and it's like, sure, this like huge outlier, right? So like, but like huge macro level, like it's worth about 100, like a faster slow metabolism is worth about like 100 calories. It also is the calories they reach for. Like if it's like, oh, this person eats all the time and they're reaching for like a handful of nuts, broccoli, cauliflower, carrots, like that's not very calorie dense. They're not reaching for a donut, a hamburger, chicken tendies and some fries. Like they're reaching for like low glycemic index things, like where they eat like tuna and turkey and chicken. But like, or you reach for the high glycemic. Hey, there you go, high glycemic, and Pop-Tarts. Yeah, our brains love sugar. Anyways, we'll look that up. Well, that's another thing we can look up another time. Let's go to the next article. As we're plowing here. Study. We love studies. We love universities. We mostly talk about science around here. Apparently this is just the science news time. We'll find some other news. We've talked about other things. Finland has now, like the article we read the other day, Finland has now closed all of its borders to Russia. All borders to Russia closed. So, spike in premature births caused by COVID and halted by vaccines. Love that. COVID-19 caused an alarming surge in premature births, but vaccines were key to returning to early birth rate to pre-pandemic levels, according to new analysis. We love vaccines around here. Get vaccines, love it. Also, it's helping like with like premature births. Being born prematurely probably not good for most people. The effect of maternal COVID infection, yeah. Not sure what you're talking about, Sawdog in chat here. Is this about like something? I'm not sure what this is related to the topic that we have at hand here. Anyways, the large effect of maternal COVID infection from the onset of the pandemic into 2023 is large, increasing the risk of preterm births over that time by 1.2 percentage points. A full percentage point? Holy moly. To move the needle to preterm births is akin to disastrous environmental exposure, like weeks of breathing intense wildfire smoke. Yeah, full percentage point. Oh boy. But the first 2 years of the pandemic alone were far worse for many pregnancies, according to findings in a thing published. The virus that causes COVID-19 endangers pregnancies by causing immune and inflammation responses and via deterioration of the placenta. Yeah, it inflames all your organs. It's bad for you. One consequence is early interruption of pregnancy and birth well in advance of the end of the expected 39 to 40 week gestation period. As the virus spread from July to November in 2020, the likelihood that a mother with COVID-19 in California would give birth more than 3 weeks before the due date was 5.4 percentage points higher than anticipated. Holy moly. So the anticipated amount of people having this happen to, and they say here, 7%. It went up to almost 12.5. Wow. That's terrible. Sawdog, thank you for sharing that in chat. Appreciate that. The researchers measured the impact of the pandemic with the help of birth records for California's nearly 40 million people, using information on birth timing and the comparison of sibling births to help control for the pandemic's disparate impacts on different demographic groups. They found the excess risk of preterm births fell slightly in early 2021 before dropping steeply in 2022, at which point COVID-19 infections and pregnancy caused no excess risk of preterm birth for infants. Like if we could just push it lower, right? Like what is the rest of it? Like why is 7%? Like maybe there's just some like local minimum, right? This article has more to it, but I think this like covers the main section that I would love to hear about, where like vaccines good. Vaccines have caused good in the world. So, let's go. I said I did have, let's see here. This is the last one. Scientists identify gene responsible for longer lifespan in golden retrievers. Golden retrievers, what's not to love? I'm like a golden retriever in some ways. In a groundbreaking study published last month, scientists at UC Davis have identified a gene called ERBB4 that may play a crucial role in extending the lifespan of golden retrievers. This discovery could have far-reaching implications for both canine and human health, shedding light on genetic factors that influence lifespan and offering hope for new interventions and treatment. Ooh. Give me some like golden retriever genes. Put that in here. There you go. Yeah, everybody in chat loves golden retrievers. Hell yeah. In the study, more than 300 golden retrievers, Danica and her colleagues at UC Davis compared the DNA from blood samples of dogs that were still alive at 14 years of age to those that died before age 12. They found that dogs with certain variants of the gene survived longer on average, 13.5 years compared to 11.6. Danica cautions that the work was conducted on only one breed and that it's not known that whether these variants are associated with longer life in other dogs. Focusing on the golden retriever, a breed with a high rate of cancer-associated mortality, the study suggests that the breed's susceptibility to various the study highlights the breed's susceptibility to various cancers. DWAS studies in dogs have been effective in identifying genes associated with phenotypical differences or diseases, including cancer susceptibility. However, most studies have not explicitly examined lifespan in relation to genetic factors. Given the high cancer rates and mortalities in golden retrievers, the studies proposes a shift in approach to identifying disease-causing genes to find those that promote longevity, potentially uncovering genes that counteract cancer risks in this predisposed breed. Interesting. That's absolutely incredible. So I love to hear that there is like key takeaways and key findings where we will be able to apply this to other places, right? So they find it in one breed. Now you move on to another and another and another, and then you correlate this across like all the breeds of dogs and to see, you know, what the correlation is. This is a new finding, and maybe it's not the right thing or not the right place, right? So Cool. The study goes on to like talk about some more things and the genetic markers and these other things, but one of the things that I'm going to have a problem with is that I'm all out of coffee. And I'm all out of news. That's been Rise and Grind today. Go ahead and press the subscribe button if you're on YouTube. Press the follow button if you're on Twitch, and we will see you next time.